Michael Hernandez here of MLH Media, and we are here today on the road to A1 Combat 24. Here today with Jeffrey Bonilla, 6-2 MMA prospect over there out of Salinas, California. How are you doing today, my man? Got a big matchup on September 6th. How's it going?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Hey, I cannot complain getting to talk to a very game competitor, the killer over there in Salinas, California. Can you let's just start at the beginning. I mean, you and both your brother Alex have kind of took the MMA scene on stand, man. I mean, you guys are really lighting up that bantamweight and flyweight division in 2022, 2023. Kind of took a little bit of a break from that activity in this past couple months, but still been pretty active. What exactly has this been planned? Like, can you really give the breakdown on the Bonilla brothers and this MMA pathway that you've taken?
Yeah, man. I mean, me and my brother, we really never had a plan. We just kind of went with it. And after winning, after winning, one or two or three, we just kept on rolling.
Your last appearance in the cage on May 18th, 2024 against Jackson Henson. What were your thoughts behind the victory? And I mean, a very game opponent over there in Jackson Henson, somebody that has a Division I college wrestling background, on top of also being down just a plethora of kind of notable wrestling pedigrees. How was that to get that win over there? I know it was in front of a home crowd too, so it must have been a pretty special feeling.
No, it felt great. It felt great going in there and getting the W. I didn't expect his family, because I heard his family, his dad was an Olympic wrestler. So I just went in there believing in myself. I have my coaches believing in me, and I just kind of stepped foot in there, and I ended up catching the W.
What do you feel like were the biggest components to help lead you into that win? I know you had a very game opponent across the way from you, but what do you feel like you capitalized on most? And I know you said it was the mindset that really helped you. You went in there with some confidence, but I mean, to go in there with some confidence, it doesn't help that much. You got to definitely have some things that also help you on the way. What were some things that you and your team implemented that really helped you get that win?
Yeah, man. Obviously, I knew he was a wrestler. I knew I have good stand up. So we just kind of worked on our jujitsu on the ground, just in case if I got taken down, and I did great on the bottom. I didn't get a submission that I really wanted, but I really learned a lot from there to stay calm, even though that I'm fighting a wrestler. But I knew that my stand up was better than his, so I just kind of believed in myself. I worked really hard with my wrestling, my stand up, my boxing, and everything just turned out how it was.
And now another title opportunity has came upon you over here, A1 Combat 24, September 6th, against another man that kind of, much like yourself, lighting the scene on fire a bit this past year. Robbie Lopez, been having a pretty successful MMA career for himself as well in the flyweight division. Both you guys kind of bumping up to that bantamweight. You've previously fought at that bantamweight. Do you feel like that gives you a little bit of an advantage against a guy that's usually used to fighting at 125?
I mean, really, this fight, like I wanted to fight him at 125, but I guess I don't know what went wrong on his side, or I don't know if he could cut the weight, but I just accepted at 135, and honestly, it's beneficial to me because I don't really need to cut weight. I'm not gonna feel drained, and I fought four times at 135. My past two fights, I fought at flyweight because I kind of left that division for my brother. I feel like I'm just a smaller guy. I have a smaller frame, so I kind of just left it to him, just for him to take care of that. And now, honestly, most of the other fighters that my brother are fighting, they're coming down 125, so they realize that most of the other fighters are pretty big in there. So I kind of just stayed away from 135. But for this fight, I know he's fighting at 125, so I feel like it was a great matchup, especially with our stand up.
100%. And both of you gentlemen have, I mean, very different areas of the stand up where you guys, I feel, succeed in. I mean, you have some very, I would say your striking on the inside is very crisp, and Robert definitely has a lot of flashy kind of variations. Where do you think that it'll kind of end up most in that cage on September 6th? Because I mean, the traditional saying goes, you got two strikers going in there, they're most likely going to grapple. You got two wrestlers going in there, most likely going to strike. How do you feel the matchup's going to play out though come September 6th?
I mean, if if someone gets tagged and they shoot, it's because someone was a better striker. So I feel like it's just gonna stay on the feet until somebody gets cracked and they shoot until somebody
You've been
shoots.
working over there at Team Takeflight MMA for quite some time. You kind of been one of the pillars of that team. Can you describe to the fans and I mean a couple of the people at home what it's really been like to kind of be one of those first guys to really just kind of take that torch and just really run with it? I mean, you've been really one of the you and your alongside your brother Alex have just been two of the guys that have really helped grow that gym's name and just grow the overall Salinas MMA kind of repertoire. Can you go into that a little bit and what it means for you to be able to represent your home area of Salinas?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot to me. This is something that I always dreamed to be a champion, and it just started unfolding. There's a lot of guys out there in TTF that I kind of admire. So just looking up to other people and just believing in myself every single time I step in there, and just seeing my brother, he's just one of my biggest inspirations. So shout out to Team Take Flight. Thank you guys for the help because without the team, I want to make this dream work.
And is there kind of any update? I know it's been a little bit of a time away from the cage for your brother as well. Is there any chance that we'll be able to get to catch him maybe at the next Salad Bowl Series showdown, possibly on an A1 Combat card in the future? Have you had any updates? I'm pretty sure he's been kind of helping you get ready for this one upcoming, a pretty big championship matchup. Any updates that we can get to seeing Alex Bonilla in the cage?
Yeah, he'll be back soon. Right now, he's just taking a little break, just getting his family and everything straightened out, and he'll be back soon. He'll be back very soon. Maybe one more amateur. Maybe he goes pro. Who knows? Up to him.
And what would you say your timeline is looking like for your MMA career? I know you said you kind of you possibly are looking at that professional venture, but what are some things, maybe possibly if you're able to get that win out there on September 6th, are we seeing a title defense out of you? Are we seeing you go straight to the pros? What are some things that the fans can expect to see out of Jeffrey the Killer Bonilla?
Yeah, definitely. Every time I win a fight, I always want to hop back in there. I don't really want to take breaks. So yeah, maybe a couple more amateur fights just to get that experience. Cause I wasn't really a troublemaker to get into physical altercations in the streets. So I just gonna kind of keep my mouth quiet and just roll with the punches. See what life throws at me. And right now I'm just rolling. I'm just focusing on each fight. I'm not really looking too far ahead. Well, obviously UFC is the goal, but I'm not looking too far ahead. I'm just kind of having fun with this and just going on with it, just rolling with it.
Been training since you're 18 years old in the terms of fighting. You've been fighting in that cage since you were 18 years old. How does it feel now? You're 20 years old. You're about to be 21, I believe. And you've got a lot of experience and a lot more experience than I would say a lot of other fighters at that age. And you're kind of one of the guys that's being able to experience going down that pipeline, being 18 years old and getting to freshly hop into a cage. How does it feel for you to know that you kind of got that experience, perhaps compared to the fighter next to you or perhaps from the guy across the cage from you?
Well, it kind of feels surreal just because I started at 18 years old. Now I'm about to be 21 in October. So it feels great. It feels great having those wins on my name, but there's still more to work on. I still got a lot of things to prove, and I'm just working every single day just to reach that goal.
Did you first envision this kind of all playing out? I know you said you and your brother kind of took everything step by step, but everybody has the ambitions and goals when they first enter into an MMA gym. Maybe one day I'll get a fight, or one day I'll be able to do this or that. When you first walked foot into Team Take Flight, did you imagine all this? Did you imagine possibly being able to go kind of down this title trajectory and really kind of, like how you said, make your stamp alongside California's amateur scene and going into the professional?
Yeah, not at all. I didn't imagine. I didn't think. I mean, I obviously, I knew it was possible, but I didn't think, I was gonna be 6-2 right now. After getting my first loss in MMA, he was 32. I was fresh, 18. So, doing good on the stand up, it kind of gave me a lot of like a mentality boost to go in there to the next one. But obviously, every fighter, they get nervous, so I kind of try to stay calm, try to pick up signs where I could see if he's nervous. So after getting my first W, I knew that I was very confident that I was gonna win another one and win another one.
Just a couple of last questions more here for you, Jeffrey. I really do appreciate your time today on the program. It's really been a pleasure to get to really dive into the psyche and really get to see your perspective on everything. Because like how we said, it's been a very fast but very eventful ride for you so far in your amateur MMA career. But what are some things that possibly we can expect to see next out of you over there out of that Salinas area? I mean, I know you were saying before you want to be able to hop into that cage right away, but is there a possibility we get to see you before the end of this 2024 year? Is what exactly is this career trajectory looking like?
Yeah, man. I'm really thinking just getting this fight in A1 Combat. You see if they offer me another fight as an amateur, I'll probably take it. But for right now, I'm just trying to at least get 10 amateur fights in my name, and then go ahead and go pro. I don't know, 559. They called me for a title, so maybe after this fight, I'll head over there and claim that title.
A lot of promotions most likely are going to be in the looks of Mr. Jeffrey Bonilla, the killer's service, a contract killer at its finest. Anybody that you wanted to thank today in particular for your not only your MMA journey, but in the lead up to this bout against Robbie Lopez on September 6th?
Yeah, first of all, I just want to give a huge shout out to all my coaches, Coach Berto, Uncle B, Alfred, Rob. Shout out to my whole team that supports me and gives me that work every time I go in there. Shout out to my whole team, Team Takeflight. Shout out to my older brother, always giving me advice and always pushing me forward and inspiration and motivation. And yeah, that's everyone I want to give a shout out. Thank you so much for believing in me.
September 6th, Robert Lopez, Jeffrey Bonilla, A1 Combat Amateur Bantamweight title. Make sure that you are tuned in, folks, because I promise you this is going to be a stand-up war, going to be a very fun one. Both these gentlemen are very well versed in every single asset of MMA. Going to be a very exciting matchup. Michael Hernandez of MLH Media in the 559 going to be signing out over there with my guy, Jeffrey the Killer Bonilla in the 831. I appreciate your time today, my man.